Yeah. Also, by the way, last week you completely threw me off, and now I know how it feels. I heard the giggle like in the recording, and I was like, "Oh, right."
Yep.
Okay, now I know how it feels. It throws you right off guard, doesn't it? So I'm probably gonna stop doing that now.
Okay, I think I've got all of the wonderful audio over on my end.
Cool.
We'll
I will just need to run a quick test record just in the background just to be sure.
You might have to.
We had another crash last week.
Yes.
Don't worry, it has resulted in me actually wanting to do something about it, so probably a good thing. You'll find out soon enough.
Soon enough.
Well, the audience will. You
yes, I already know. I know all things.
Yeah, my message, by the way, says we are now live alive. See what I did there?
Live alive, yep.
Hey. I think that sets the tone for what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Yup. Oh man, I was... this. Oh. I'm getting this pulled up on twitch.tv/rapid reviews.
Yeah, I've just got to open the chat myself just to make sure.
Yeah, I want it to look like we actually have viewers tonight.
Yes.
So we do our late night podcast.
Mm.
I just hope that...
Good with, I can hear, so...
Okay, I was going to say, I hope the volume's good, because...
I'll check it properly once this 30-second ad stops.
Oh, right. Yeah, because last week I was a little loud. Which is why I'm sitting... Yeah. I'm sitting away from the mic right now.
I know, but there was obviously like a problem with that. I couldn't really correct much of it with
No, it was all on my end. Yeah.
I know, but yeah.
I dropped my mouse.
Do not disturb on the Discord, because I know there's probably some stuff going on there. So.
Or be like me and just never go on Discord.
Well, you could do that. It just probably won't help.
I'm having pink champagne. Someone brought this to me.
Oh, really?
Because I get a lot of...
From your secret admirer?
I only could wish, but no, it's from a sweet little old lady. She brought it to me, and she goes, "Here, take this. It's pink champagne," because everybody knows it's, me and pink, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, "Enjoy this with your lucky fella, because I know for sure you have a lucky fella." And I was just like, I'm gonna drink this by myself. I ain't got nobody.
Well, did you at least tell her that you're gonna,
no,
absolutely obliterate it to yourself?
No. Oh, thank you.
Okay, that's probably for the best.
Thank you so much. That's what I did. That's so sweet, so kind.
Oh, it's so kind.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I might want to put that to everyone else as well. So. I think we're probably just going to be streaming into the void today.
I'm pretty sure. But we'll give Chad a little bit.
Yeah, give him a couple of minutes, yeah.
Mostly so I can get plastered in the meantime.
I mean, look, it's not a building job.
No, this is my pre-heart day spiral into oblivion.
Excellent. We all know where this is going today, then.
No. I'm sure I'm sure everything will be fine. It'll be grand. I'll be rowing tomorrow. I didn't row today. I took a little wee break because yesterday, holy crap.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked absolutely intense.
I wish I could explain it, but if you don't do, and I mean the general public, if you don't do high endurance sports, you cannot know what the quote pain cave is. For those who don't know, I sent Pete a screenshot of what my trainer said.
That was hilarious, to be honest.
You're going to feel like hot knives are stabbing you as you enter the pain cave. Oh gosh, it was bad. But the thing is...
It sounds like my life, if I'm honest.
Yeah, my life is a pain cave.
No, my life is a series of stabbing knives in my chest.
But I'm hoping next year, if I stick with it, I will beat the world record.
Yes. Well, that's the hope.
I get a nice little certificate. I'm going to frame it. And then knowing me, I'll look at it and go, that wasn't that great. We'll do better next year. It's like, what? What, really? Like, that's how I talk to myself. Like, oh, you have to beat your own world record? Yes.
Oh.
Oh, chat. You have about 7 minutes. And I'm still using...
That's what I mean, if that.
Yeah. And I'm still using this ancient camera because I completely forgot to order a new one. we went off the air and I went, oh, podcast? That's a thing that I will do next week.
That's a problem for future Kiley.
Exactly.
Not current plastered Kiley.
Exactly.
I need to go and eat.
Oh, damn past Kiley. She's so annoying.
I mean, future Kiley's no better, to be honest.
Future Kiley's lazy. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, that took an inordinate amount of time to actually load Twitter up just to do that.
Oh
Jesus.
my goodness. Was that on your phone?
No.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I had Discord crashing a couple of times. I thought what was happening.
Oh my gosh, Pete. Oh, wow.
Oh, it's good though, because I sat on the computer today sorting some bits out with Rach, and she's seen how bad it is, and now it's authorised.
Yeah, oh, that's actually good. I mean...
Not
yeah.
I need her assistant her saying I'm okay to spend money.
No, but it's a mutual partnership. Hell yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah.
She now knows that it is more pressing than it should be.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big purchase. Big purchases should always be team events. In my opinion. Like, I have anything to say. The last 5 years has been me making solo purchases.
And there I was, just staring at those two monolithic boxes behind me.
Gigantic.
Going, no, that was a personal purchase.
Yeah, well.
I love the fact that you literally just said, episode 111 Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast. Nintendo. Nintendo.
I leave that for the creatives in the room, and I'm not the creative in the room. Although I did start... Oh, look, Nana's here. Hello, Nana. I did, however, as we're doing our little warm-up chat...
yeah, I'm just running the test in the background.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Don't worry about that.
I'll keep talking. I did, however, start drawing again this week. Sketching, rather.
I did see that, actually.
That was very weird. It came out of nowhere.
It happened.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever your creative outlet is, who cares?
Yeah. I'm very rusty. Very rusty, but...
You're an inspiration, and you clearly know what you wanted to do, which is a very comic aesthetic style.
Oh yes. See, unfortunately, that is not a embraced style at the moment.
No.
Anime seems to be the kind of more anime and realism, where I'm kind of stuck in the middle with graphic design.
Well, you mean hyper realistic?
Yeah, like hyper photorealistic, exactly. 3D renders. That type of thing. And
everyone wants to go to like over the top anime or hype, like ultra realistic.
Yeah. And I just don't do that.
All right, sorry, 2 secs. I will be back in a mojo.
Okay, I will talk to chat.
It's really Canadian there when you did that.
Well, that was my Canadian half. Oh, chat, how are you? Nana, if you're there. What do you mean, hang on? Do you mean me, hang on? Or does Pete mean...
Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Please
don't
crash.
Pete's on mute is what it is. Yeah, Nana says, I've been trying to do hyperrealism for a bit now. Yeah, actually, I thought of you immediately when we were talking about it. There's a lot of 3D rendering that's really cool out there. God, like there's this chick I follow. I think she's like 3D render goddess or something like that. And she does a lot of Storm, from the X-Men and stuff like that. Holy crap. It's beautiful. Oh, Nana says, I'm good. Just been in London for the weekend and things have been fun. Now that is good to hear. No, I'm very glad to hear about that.
Amazing.
Yeah. Always glad when people are having fun.
Yeah. I did see that you had tweeted out that you were going down there, so I'm glad you've had a really good time, mate.
Very, very good. Yeah. 2 more minutes.
We must apologise for the late showing. We will explain, by the way.
Oh, yes. Yes. I have tattooed.
All my fault.
Yes, it is Pete's fault.
It actually really is my fault this time. I just feel bad, obviously, that I have to ask you to record later.
Oh, I don't care, Pete.
I know.
I have no life, as we know.
I know, but still, it's just like I just don't know. I just don't know the kind of state that you're going to turn up in 7:30.
That is true. That is very true.
I mean, at least you held off your drinking until you actually came on.
It's true. Very, very true. But, oh goodness.
We're there or thereabouts, so.
I was going to say, Nana, if you can, let me know how the volumes are, because my volume was terrible last week. I do apologize for that.
On the backup recording, you are slightly more than I am, so.
Yeah, you mean right now?
So you might, on my side as well, on the recording.
Right, okay.
It's just slightly more, so you might want to pull your mic down a tiny little bit.
Let's see. That would turn it up, so that's going to turn it down. Let's see. Hopefully that's better. Alright, and it says, sounds good. Woohoo! Good.
Yeah. Always remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Yeah, then I have to remember which is left and which is right. You know how to do that? That's for left.
Yeah. It's also for loser.
It is. With an L shape on her forehead.
Please do not. I do not want to be reminded that terribly bad film with the guy Jason Biggs from.
I like it.
It does kind of suck though.
It's dodgeball. What does he say? L for love. That's it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like doing that to his wife. L for love.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's what it means. God, that film is so quotable.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
Right, let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Alright.
So I'm going to start the recording program anew. Good. Oh, phew.
What?
This is anxiety inducing, honestly. I'm not even joking.
Oh gosh, Pete. Well, I mean...
We've got the stream as the backup anyway, so it's
yes,
fine.
until I crash. So... Oh, darn it. I meant to have my notes that you wrote pulled up.
Oh, it's alright. I've got them.
You'll just have to, because I'm too scared to touch anything.
Well, that's why I've got Discord window minimized to like a certain size. So I've got the recording program in the background open so I can keep an eye on it, and like
oh goodness,
Chrome like on the side just mounted there. Yes, I said mounted.
You said mounted. I was burping so I couldn't.
Oh. Right. Okay, so we're gonna start the show in 3, 2.
Welcome to Rabbit Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 111. 111. I am your co-host, Kylie Wilde, and I'm joined by my co-host, Pete Beckett.
Howdy.
And this is a weird episode because we're recording at like 8 o'clock at night on a Monday.
Sunday, actually. I mean, it's so unusual that we would record at this time. I'm not surprised you thought it was Monday.
Okay. Whoopsie. Sunday. Okay. Well, Pete, why don't you No, I'm going to tease you first. So, it's a special time in Pete's life. A special time of year. Where everything is hearts and chocolate. Yes, my friends, it is Pete's birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, so I wasn't really up for recording on a Monday when
yes
it was my birthday, and I've had guests over this today, so it was like, oh yeah, I don't want to send them home early, so
No.
just because of this, so
Yeah.
let's record a bit later.
Yeah. Plus, you had like a really good dinner that I'm way jealous of.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I had an amazing roast dinner today,
Yes.
and
And cake.
and cake, but yesterday I went to a steak restaurant, and it was, oh
Oh.
my god, it was so superb.
Oh my gosh. I haven't been to a restaurant in 2 years, let alone a steak one. I have one right across the road from me.
I mean, you could probably deliver it.
No, not a steak. I want to go eat. That's maybe what
I
I'll do.
know.
I'll take myself out tomorrow.
Yay! There
Such
you
a
go.
loser.
You order yourself a bottle of pink champagne, some steak.
I will have my own steak dinner. God, how? But like I'm totally all for that. But like, how awkward will that be? I'll be the only one at like a single table. All these couples.
No, look, I've done it plenty of times before, but not on Valentine's Day.
That's
Let's be
what I'm
honest.
saying.
I know, but
Ah,
I mean, you could. I don't know. I was going to say
yeah,
something really audacious there, and I'm definitely not going
yeah.
to say that on a recording for everyone.
Yes. Also, chat says happy early birthday, Pete.
Thank you
Yay.
very much.
Um.
Not telling you how old I am.
No, that is forbidden here in this
That's also
land.
that's basically also doxing myself.
That's true. I do apologize if I burp in the microphone.
No,
I am
you're good. You're
drinking.
good.
I'm drinking pink champagne, which I told our viewers earlier was delivered to me by a very, very sweet, sweet, kind little old lady. Who delivered it with the phrase, "I hope you enjoy this with I hope you enjoy this with a lucky fella that I know you surely must have."
Smile and wave, smile and wave.
Yeah, I was like, oh, thank you.
And of course, I'm pushing boat out with a nice old cup of tea.
Hmm. I'm Pete.
Really living my age.
I'm Pete. I'm drinking tea on a Sunday night before work. Oh, I'm a responsible adult.
What are you talking about? I don't even have work tomorrow.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's.
off.
Oh, God, yeah. You told me that.
2 days off.
You
Thank you.
told me that.
Who works on their birthdays? Psychos.
Yes, exactly.
Let's get a show on the road.
We're gonna
really,
get the show on the road. That was enough banter. No, I'm kidding. But we do have a kind of quickie today. Because it was the
Quickie.
yes, I did. It was the Nintendo Direct. Now a little setup, and then I'm gonna turn this over to Pete. Yep. I am infamously known that I do not have it. I mean, I have a Switch. I don't play it. I have nothing against Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I just don't have any particulars about Nintendo. So,
yes,
Pete's gonna do a lot of heavy lifting in this episode.
Yes, I will.
But
I've already have done by watching it twice.
Yes, Pete is quite the balanced and fair Nintendo fanboy.
No, I usually am.
You are. I wasn't being sarcastic. Yeah.
I know. Admittedly, I did watch this twice. Because the first time I just wanted to watch it as a fan. The second time was the old note taking.
Right.
So yeah, I have my reasons behind it, but I did watch this live at the time. I mean, it was awkward though because there was a game of football on before, and I really didn't think it was going to end on time, and I'm like sitting there itching, like, come on, just want to watch it.
And meanwhile, I was rowing an 8-kilometer row.
Yes.
So yes, that's what I was doing. So, it was intense.
So,
but yes.
Also, the other reason why I watched this twice is because I found that articles around the internet like to list the important news at the top and don't care about the rest. Right. So actually, what I have done is this is actually in running order.
Oh, right, okay.
So I've noted everything down with some notes as well about some general stuff that's happened there. So if a new game got announced and shown off properly, then it would have some description to do with it. But if it was a game that was already there or has already seen a release on another console, it was basically just detailing the release time.
Right.
So there was a lot to cover. This was 40 minutes. I'm going to reserve my thoughts completely to the end.
Tell me this, Pete, for those of us out there not as familiar with the directs.
Yep.
An average direct is about 15-20 minutes. Am I?
Direct minis when they were
Mm-hmm.
pandemic time were like 15 to 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So this was
Partner showcases were usually about 25 to 30 minutes. And
right.
Nintendo Directs are usually anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes.
Right.
So this is
Okay.
about an average length of
Okay.
direct.
Good. Good. Okay. Take it away,
So yeah.
Pete.
So yeah, like I said, I'm going to reserve the thoughts until the very end of the show because I do not want to
Yeah.
reveal my card. Let's
Yep.
say. So we started out actually with something that's been very heavily rumored as of late. There was very much talk of a new Fire Emblem game coming out. Probably not the Fire Emblem game that everyone was thinking of because it was Fire Emblem Warriors: Three Hopes, based on the storyline from Fire Emblem Three Houses. It is another Muso game,
Right.
very unusually as well. So they showed off a pre-rendered cutscene or pre-rendered animation
Right.
with a little bit of gameplay. I'll be honest, it's a Muto game. Frame rate looks absolutely shocking.
In a bad way.
Yes,
Mm.
like the Muso games have never run particularly well with all that action going on screen at once,
Ooh.
so
Right.
it's a little bit difficult. But um, I'm sure with a few performance patches later on down the line, it will probably play quite well.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't show much else other than just a small snippet of gameplay, and mostly all the stuff was to do with the story, dialogue options, all that sort of thing. So they put a date of the 24th of June on this one. So kind of a strong start, let's say, straight out of the block.
Mm-hmm.
Then, so the next thing they did is they did like they usually do the first batch of headlines.
Right.
So the first game that they did in that was Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
Right.
This
Oh.
was a game that was notoriously delayed out of the back end of last year. They have finally put a release date on it, which is April 8th. But they showcased a lot of the features that are coming to this game, and they've made a lot of quality of life improvements. And it's
Right.
very much typical to how a remaster happens generally these days, anyway. So you got the ability to replay turns. You've got a fast forward feature, online multiplayer. But now the whole two campaigns are fully voiced.
Ah. Very good. Very good.
Yes, the voice acting did actually sound quite decent as well, which is sort of one of my biggest problems when it comes to this sort of thing. Is you have a game from like the Game Boy Advance
Mm-hmm.
that has no voice acting,
Mm-hmm.
and it can take away some of the polish and the sheen
Yeah.
from the original games. But this looked like they put a really good amount of work into the actual voice actors, so I am quite happy with that. So I mean, I'd already said before, I'm gonna get this, and I'm definitely gonna get this now because it's got online multiplayer on it. This is gonna be intense.
Excellent.
But they did also reveal a new mode, which was called the War Room, which means that you can create your own stages,
Ooh.
replay like certain missions in certain parts of missions that you've struggled with, or score attacks and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool.
Very cool.
So, you feel free to jump in at any time about anything you want to talk about in more detail, but I can't imagine Advance Wars is something you really want to talk
Nope.
about it.
It's not.
Okay, so the next game was a bit of a surprise, but also a game that's been out on other consoles for quite a long period of time. No Man's Sky.
Yes. Um, that did stand out to me.
Hmm. Uh, I will admit here, I still haven't played the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm likely to play it on the Switch though.
Right. I mean, I hate to be kind of like a prejudging and all this kind of stuff or small minded, but Pete, I don't think No Man's Sky would interest you. I really don't. I mean, never ever use that as, don't be like, oh, well, I won't try it then.
Yeah.
But just based on what I know, uh,
Hmm.
and it's weird to think of it running on a Switch though.
Yeah, I mean that's probably one of the reasons why I said I'm probably not likely to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had all this time to play it and I still
Right.
haven't. It's on
Right.
Game Pass and I still haven't played it. but
Yes.
also it looked like it was kind of chugging a bit on the Switch,
See,
even in the trailers.
yeah, I would kind of think that it would be, but again, could totally be wrong.
Yeah, I could be very wrong about that, but I mean, I've got PS5, so I might, if I want to, I could go
Yeah,
and pick the game up on PS4 for
I
cheap and
I think
go and get.
yeah, like I think if if your only option to play No Man's Sky and it's something that you want to play, you know, is the Switch, then play it on the Switch, of course. But
Agreed.
if you can get it on the PS5, I would go for that.
And also, like I said, it's also a Game
And not
Pass, I
it's on
believe.
Game
So
Pass,
yeah,
so I mean that would be
but
my personal go to.
admittedly, like it is good to see because Hello Games have had a really, really good relationship recently with Nintendo. So it's
Hmm.
nice to see that they're releasing a game that was once a Sony exclusive on
Right.
other consoles, especially the Switch.
Yeah.
Especially like the amount of work that they've done to get that game from the brink of like
Oh,
despair, let's say.
yeah. It was, yeah. And we've talked about it before.
Mm,
When it was released, it was just taking a nosedive. It
yeah.
was, I didn't think they'd be able to bring it back, and they did. So,
Yeah, even to the point where there was an episode of an old podcast that I used to do, which was called an episode that we did was called No Man's Lies.
oh, there you go.
Yeah, so yeah, it was that bad when it first
So witty.
released. Oh, it was, yeah. So anyway, moving very, very swiftly on.
Uh-huh.
This was the first big surprise of the direct.
Right?
It was to start with, it was a pre-rendered cutscene
Uh-huh.
of Mario Strikers Battle League.
Yeah. Thought of you when I saw that. Yeah.
I'm a bit of, I'll be the first to admit I'm a bit of a fan of a football game
Uh-huh.
in some respects, but I'm a big fan of the Mario Strikers game
Right.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
The GameCube one is absolutely superb. The Wii one wasn't as good, but still equally is just as fun.
Right.
Oh my god, what have they done with this game? It looks unbelievable.
Right.
So they showed off some gameplay for it.
Uh-huh.
They revealed some the new special shots for each character. Everyone had those in the previous games anyway.
Right.
They've now revealed the new one of the new mechanics for the game is Hyperstrikes.
Right.
Which so basically what it looks like you can do is if you've got hold of the ball, you can spend some time charging.
Uh-huh.
You release a team Hyperstrike, which then could score you up to 2 goals
I like that.
if it hits the target.
Right.
It looks kind of cool, but they've made it a bit more RPG-like in this sense because they've included a gear system.
Right.
So nice little addition to the once previous gameplay that they've done with it. It's Next Level Games coming back for it. They were the ones who did the first two. They also made Luigi's Mansion 3, so
Oh, is it?
you know
Okay.
they are a very, very good developer to work
They
on
are
this.
next level. Haha.
Oh yes, but that's not to say that I haven't done anything else to the game.
Right?
8-player online modes.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so 4-on-4 online. But they've also taken a book out of FIFA's page out of FIFA's book.
Mm-hmm.
They've introduced a club system with up to 20
Right.
people.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. That's
RR
really
UK
cool.
club.
Yeah.
Look, I'm starting the RR UK club. Anyone wants to join, just let me know. Well, as soon
There
as the
you
game's
go.
out, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's June 10th and it's already pre-ordered.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
No
you're gonna
joke.
love that. That should make up for Mario Golf, right?
I hope so, because Mario Golf, as good as it was just so light on content.
Yeah.
It looks like they're focusing very heavily more on the online side of this, and I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah. Very good.
Speaking of online,
Bum bum bum.
Splatoon 3.
Uh-huh.
They
Yes.
didn't reveal much else about Splatoon 3 other than the next iteration of Salmon Run,
No.
called called Salmon Run Next Wave.
So, oh my goodness. Pete, now you're our local Splatoon expert, I would say. Why has there been so little revealed about this game? I think it was you, now correct me if I'm wrong, that said they kind of overplayed their hand with, was it last year when they showed the teaser trailer? Yeah, and
It wasn't exactly a teaser trailer. It was a full reveal. Actually,
Oh,
it was like
right.
a three
Okay.
minute, 3 minute full
I
reveal,
can
and they
remember.
showed off a lot. And they've been very quiet since. So I actually think they
Right.
probably planned to have it released at the back end of last year and had to push it.
Right. Okay.
So
Because it is definitely one of the more anticipated games. Seems to
yes,
be,
for
anyway.
sure.
Just
Mm,
from being an outside observer.
sure. So for anyone who's not familiar with this, I'll run through this. Salmon Run was basically the horde mode, let's say.
All right.
So you had 3 rounds of, I think it was 2 or 3 minutes each, and you had to collect as many eggs as possible. If you didn't hit a quota, the mode would stop.
Right.
Like you would just stop flat.
Right.
But also the weapons are randomly generated.
Oh, now
So
that's
you
cool.
can't. So you can't just go in with like any weapon you want. There are only
Right.
4 weapons that you can use, and they're changed each round.
Yeah.
So one round you might have a sniper, the other round you might have a roller, and the other round you might have a minigun or something along those lines.
Right.
And those weapons are preset basically to however they want it at the time.
Right.
So it looks like they've done exactly the same thing. Touch wood, fingers crossed, it is not time locked because it was in the second game and it really annoyed the heck out of me.
Right.
Like there were only certain times you could play it.
Oh, that would suck massive, but
Yes, it really did. It was annoying as all heck. So I really hope it's just free and open to play
yeah.
anytime you want this time.
What do you was that a server issue then? You think?
I don't know if it was. I think it was a choice because that stayed right until the very end of the life of the game,
That is just weird.
and that was 4 years.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, that's
I know.
yeah.
Anyway, so they revealed quite a fair few things with this. Some new enemies. One of them is called the Flip Flopper. No, it's a cool one actually. So the enemy will actually throw out a ring that will land on the floor, and if you're in the ring when it jumps into it, it's an instant kill.
Right.
But if you avoid the ring and manage to ink the ring, the area in which it covers, it will go to flop in there and just flop on the floor,
Ah.
which is why it's called a flip flopper.
Right.
The other one that I had was called a fish stick.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we're not making Kanye West jokes here.
Nope.
No, so it's basically just a large pole, let's say, which you can obviously climb up if you ink it, and there's a load of fish going or salmon going around in a circle that you can just kill off, basically.
Pete, I'm being so good.
I know. I can see you doing that. Okay, but they did reveal that there's one more enemy there, and it is a giant salmonid, and we don't know anything about it. It looks mental.
Oh, that is wild.
However, they did add a new mechanic, and
Okay.
this was very much needed.
Right.
I didn't realize I needed this in Salmon Run until they showed it. The egg toss or
Oh
the egg
gosh.
throw.
Oh dear.
So one of the things that you had is that if you could only grab one egg at a time. So large boss salmonid,
Right.
which is what they're called, they would drop eggs, and you'd have to collect the eggs to meet the quota.
Right.
But you could only carry one at a time, so it made things a little bit difficult. Now what you can do is you can chuck the eggs,
Right.
and you can also chuck them from an area and actually get them in the basket.
Okay.
So that's a game changer.
Yeah, literally.
That is like so. If you feel like you're in a bind, like you're completely inundated, you could just go, all right, I've got an egg here. I'll just chuck it to my teammate who's not
Right.
inundated, and they can go and score.
I
I know.
know, I'm being so good.
I know. Anyway, so I won't go more into that because that was basically the long and the short of it in as much grueling detail as possible.
Yeah, well.
But there is a summer release window of it, obviously.
Okay. That's
And
my next question.
I had already predicted that was going to happen.
Yes, it's true.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about this game.
Okay.
Front Mission First Remake.
Right.
Looks like a strategy RPG.
There's okay.
With mechs.
Right. Okay, so am I wrong in thinking that there are a lot of strategy RPGs coming out.
We will get to that.
Right, okay.
We will very much get to that.
But
So,
yes.
yeah, this looks nice, actually. Looks like they've done a really nice job of a remake here.
Uh-huh.
So they dated the Front Mission first remake as summer,
Right.
and then revealed that Front Mission second remake is coming later this year.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it does look. It's not my bag usually, strategy RPGs completely. So it does look nice though. I have to
Yeah.
do a bit more investigation into Front Mission anyway.
Mechs used to be so in, like so big.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Mech
So
Warrior and all
anyway,
that. But yes.
all right. I'm gonna ask you a quick question on this one because I want some engagement.
Okay.
Right? Do you like Disney?
I tolerate Disney. No, I do. I like Disney very much.
Do you like Pixar?
I like Pixar.
Do you like kart racers?
I do like kart racers very much.
Disney Speedstorm,
Oh my
a
gosh.
free-to-play kart racer with cross-platform play,
Oh, now
is
that
coming is coming this summer.
well, they already win out of the bag with crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's all anyone wants. Oh, that's excellent. That sounds like a good game this summer for us to play.
Yep, absolutely. You get it on Xbox, I'm getting it
Yeah.
on Switch or whatever.
Or
I will
whatever.
play it.
Mhm.
Look, if it's free to play, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. You can't lose with free to play, you know?
No. Okay, it's a shame, obviously, that Mr. Begin hasn't joined us for this one because
Aw.
this guy has been talking about this game for a long time,
Yes.
and he finally got his wish.
Yes.
Oh, well, Force Unleashed is getting a remaster, and it's coming on 420.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, Kieran will let us know how he feels about that at some point.
I'll be honest, I think it's probably coming to other consoles as well.
It is, I think, because I was reading about it the other day.
However,
Mhm.
there is something interesting about the Switch version.
Right?
It's a remaster of the Wii version.
Oh my gosh, which is different. That's a whole different version.
It's the worst version of the game.
That's what. Okay. That's what I thought I remembered hearing.
Yep. Also, it has got motion. It's got motion controls in it, so they're bringing that back, which is cool, I guess.
I get. Well, see that when it came out originally, I love it. That's one of my favorite Star Wars games.
It's a brilliant game. I remember one of my friends played the absolute living crap out of it, and it was so good.
It was very good. But I remember wanting for 5 minutes the Wii just because I wanted to be able to use the motion controls for it, or the Wii U rather, because the whole idea of it just I don't know, it just seemed really really cool. So I don't know, that could work.
I don't know. I just wanted to be a cool, like, lightsaber swinging Darth Revan.
Yeah, and
I think it's Darth Revan, isn't it?
I think so.
I want to say that anyway. Look, Kieran, if I've got that wrong, please don't kill me.
No, please do.
Oh. Anyway, let's speaking of killing.
Killing in the name
Assassin's Creed the Ezio collection. Look, I'm trying to segue here, all right? I'm trying my best.
And it's another Kieran game.
Yeah, it is. Now, I'll be honest, right? If I hadn't played 2 Revelations of Brotherhood on 360, probably would have picked this up.
Right.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is like one of the best Assassin's Creed games, in my opinion.
Seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
I can't say for me personally that it was, but maybe if I gave it another shot. I don't know.
For me, it was the online multiplayer because it was the people who made the online multiplayer for that also made, I think it was, they did the multiplayer for Chaos Theory back in the day. And Chaos Theory was, chef's kiss. So, okay. This one was a bit of a weird one, actually. I must say, 17th of February release for the Ezio collection.
Right.
A lot of, I will be surprised that a lot of these actually had proper dates on them, which is quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There were very, very few instances where they said, a release window,
I
or
was
later this year or something, which
well, I
is
was gonna
good.
ask how you felt about that, since all we've been getting is generic, you know, release dates.
Mm. It's nice to actually have a solid release date. I know it can move, but like
Yeah.
it's nice to have that sort of hype start to build.
Yeah.
Okay, so um, not sure how I felt about this one. Did look kind of nice though.
Mm-hmm.
SD Gundam Battle Alliance.
Right.
This is an RPG set in the Gundam universe, and it also
Oh,
has online
right.
co-op.
That
This is
sounds
due.
actually cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
to feel about this one because RPGs are not usually my bag, but Gundam are
Yeah.
cool.
Gundam are cool, and like an online one would be very cool.
Hmm. So this has got a 2022 release window. So, like we just said, yeah, that
Yeah.
most are getting proper dated. This one didn't. Okay, this one came out of left field. I know
Right.
there'd been rumblings of a potential, but I didn't think they would actually do it. Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition.
Oh
This is
my gosh. The
yeah, this is the remake or remaster of Chrono Cross from the PS1.
the internet went wild for that. Um,
Yep.
and I have to admit, it is actually a very enjoyable little JRPG, I guess. I guess
Hmm.
you'd call it the JRPGs, even way back then.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah. And I remember enjoying it, and I I'm happy. I liked seeing everyone's posts about it. It was very nostalgic.
Yeah. The graphic style I'm not sure about though. It does still it still retains the funkiness of the PS1 version.
Mm-hmm.
Probably what they've done is they've probably sped up the load times and probably just smoothed it off a little bit more than
It
anything.
looks smooth for sure.
Yeah, but
And
they have made some
mhm.
nice additions. What they usually do with like a remaster in this sense, like they did with Secret of Mana and Legends of Mana, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I love
Where
Secrets of
you can turn
Mana.
off enemy encounters and stuff like that.
Right. Which,
Remastered soundtrack as well.
yeah. God, the soundtracks on a lot of those games are very, very good. Um, but yeah, I know chats. I really want to read all of those, but I think we're saving them for the end.
Look, I'm gonna get to these now. I
Yeah,
promise.
there's a bunch in there that I want to talk
Yeah.
about and
Oh,
hear
I
Pete's
know,
thoughts on.
but I will mention the one that he has just brought up. I have heard the rumors of the Chrono Trigger remake as well. And I mean full remake. But
Right.
I've also heard they've tried it twice and failed miserably. So
All right. Chrono Trigger. Now that is what I would like.
I've never played Chrono Trigger. I
It's
really
good.
want to play Chrono Trigger,
Yeah.
but I want to play a remade version of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you
No.
there.
Anyway, there was another announcement with this as well, which
Right.
is why it's called the Radical Dreamers Edition,
Oh,
because
right.
it includes another game
Does
called
it?
Radical Dreamers,
Okay.
which is the Satellaview text-based adventure what Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross was based on.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
that's kind of
cool.
awesome.
See, I like that because that's kind of like game preservation. You know, I,
Yeah,
I like that. I wish more games would do that.
I do as well. So 7th of April for that one, so we have not got very long to wait.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. I think you're going to talk about this one a fair bit. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Go on.
Oh my
Tell us what you
goodness.
did on the internet.
Do I have to? No.
No, I'm joking. You don't
Yeah.
have to if you don't want to. It
No,
was just funny though.
I did. I posted a very funny thing. First of all, that trailer is awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. I have not wanted to play a Kirby game since definitely one of the Game Boys. Um,
I have. I'll be honest. I've not played a Kirby game since Kirby Superstar.
I don't know the subtitles of things, so I don't know
Uh,
which one I played. But I also liked. There is one where Kirby is made out of yarn. No, that's fun too.
oh, Epic Yarn on
Okay,
Wii.
was that on the Wii? Okay,
Yeah.
that was fun. But I played that at someone else's house. But the trailer was great, and a lot of memes were born of that trailer. And I
You're
used
one of
one
them.
of those. I did. But if you're interested, go look up Kirby. Kirby took the
Yeah,
internet by storm.
I'm getting into this. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Oh, goodness,
Look,
goodness.
I have, like I said, I've not played a Kirby game or enjoyed a Kirby game since Kirby Superstars on the SNES, which is
Oh,
basically the
wow.
remake version of like the original games anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Um,
I've played them since then at least.
I like them, but they're too easy. They're like the Yoshi games for me. Like they're good, but they're
Oh,
like
right.
aimed at a different demographic.
Like Yoshi's Island and stuff like that. Like,
Now, the original Yoshi Island is like a rock hard game, but since then they've reduced the difficulty down to sort of make it a little bit more, make it a little bit more accessible.
right.
So they are more aimed at kids. Let's be honest.
Maybe it was like Yoshi's Cookie. Something was like way easy of Yoshi's.
Yoshi's Cookie was quite easy. Yoshi's Woolly World was particularly easy.
Sound like you said Yoshi's Willy.
No, Woolly actually. Anyway, moving on from that childishness. So the big feature of this was that they were revealing that obviously Kirby can. Oh God,
Say it.
I have to.
Say it, Pete.
Kirby can suck up enemies.
He
He can
has
suck
a
up enemies,
voracious appetite.
yeah, including incredibly large items
Yeah.
such as cars, vending machines, power lifts, cones, big rings,
Yep.
a mouthful of ring. Haha, very funny. Jesus Christ, what have you what?
I think didn't Chloe post a meme, and I think
Yes.
it was a little bit even worse than mine.
Yeah. No, I think your one was definitely more sort of like to the point.
Yeah, mine was like obvious. There was no subtlety in mine.
Hers was more on the nose for
Yeah.
sure. Say that again as well.
Yep.
Oh my god, we should never record this second.
Just do a whole episode on Kirby and his war.
I know, but yeah.
I think we did. We had Richard on that time.
Yes, we did, and it got filthy.
It got filthy. It's so funny.
It was brilliant. In fact, I want to get him back on to talk about this game when it comes out.
When it comes out, yes.
Because look, I'm getting this. I wasn't told. I liked the look of the game when they first revealed it. It looked really nice. It looked kind of like Mario Odyssey in certain respects.
Well, like
this whole copy ability, like now, like the increases, like so. Not only have they made the copy abilities there again, but they've included upgraded copy abilities, which is impressive. But these large copies are ridiculously good.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. When the trailer first dropped last year or whatever, well, it was definitely last year. I keep forgetting we're only in February. But I was like, oh, why? Why would you take Kirby and put him in a post-apocalyptic, end times? Oh, that's so terrible. I was really kind of jaded towards it. Yeah. But it really kind of works. It just does. It works. It
really does. Also, like, it's one of his first attempts at 3D platformer as well.
Right.
So I'm interested in it just for that alone.
Right.
Obviously. So, yeah. Mouthful mode. Mouthful mode's hilarious. No, that's what it's called. I'm not even joking. It's called Mouthful mode. And it's so funny.
Yes.
Like, Kirby driving around as a car is just the best.
We all love a good mouthful mode.
Yes, we do. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Before we have any more crass jokes made, of course. MLB The Show 22. It's got revealed as being onto the Switch for the first time ever.
Yeah. Which I think it'll be interesting to see how that is received.
Looks like Gumph.
But MLB
runs like Gumph.
Yeah, it does anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but
yeah, go ahead.
Nice enough that they've included all the modes that are on the other versions of the game. It also includes cross-play, cross-platform
Oh, that's
play, and
cool.
cross-progression.
That's cool.
Yeah, so nice at
That is
least for
cool.
that, and it's an April 5th release, which is in line with all the other consoles too.
Right.
I know Nana will have something to say because of the box art and the cover artist, the cover style this time. I do not know their name. I'm sorry, but I know they're from the LA Angels.
Oh, right.
I
God.
think. I don't know much about baseball, if I'm honest.
I've been away from baseball because, moved here. So I've been out of baseball for 10 years, whereas I used to be I would go to baseball games in Houston. Um,
Mm. Is that
Astros.
the Houston? Oh, the Astros. Okay,
Astros,
fair enough.
yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the Houston's
Oof.
moniker.
Yeah. And the Houston Astros, and then watched the basketball games, Houston Rockets. Um,
Yeah,
and I knew all
that's
the
what I was going to say. The
rosters.
Rockets, yeah,
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
more into with basketball. So
I always wanted to go see the football games, the Houston Texans, but the tickets were
oh yeah,
so expensive at that time because they were a brand new team. Anyway, that's boring.
it's the NFL.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on to the game that nobody cares about. Yeah, that's gonna annoy a lot of
Uh
people.
huh.
I'm joking. I am joking, obviously. I'm being hyperbolic. But I meant the version that people don't care about
There you go.
is the Kingdom Hearts Integrum masterpiece for cloud.
Oh, like
This is the cloud versions of all three game or 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and final chapter and free and Remind DLC in one package. They're all playing on the cloud, and
it's
yeah.
so that was funny because my brain just now went, oh, cloud, because cloud strife. um but the funny thing about Kingdom Hearts for me, and I'm saying this because Nana's in the chat, um
Mm,
is I was such a hardcore fan of
mm,
Kingdom Hearts for like ever. I would say even up until this latest one.
yeah,
um and then I just like bleh, it just poofed. I don't know if it's because I got older, which I kind of suspect it might be, um, or the story got complicated, which is also could be. But I can tell
definitely
you,
true.
yeah. But I can tell you if this was, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have went and bought a Switch for this reason.
Yeah,
But I've changed.
my only issue with this is that obviously they were on Game Pass for a little bit,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so
I
you could
think
play them via that. But the
right.
problem is that they're the cloud versions.
Yeah,
So I'm a bit like, I know obviously they probably want the best fidelity possible, and they've obviously ported these games to the PS4, from the original PS3
right.
versions with 1.5 and 2.5.
Yeah, which is where I used to play them. Is on
But
the
the fact of
PS3.
the matter is, they could have very easily ported the 1.5, 2.5 HD versions from the PS3 versions.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's particularly difficult to do because PS3 versions of any game are difficult to remaster.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they could have done it, and it probably would have been better because it would have been playing natively on the Switch rather than the cloud versions.
Right.
If they would have just had Kingdom Hearts 3 as the cloud version, I probably would have been okay with that.
It is very weird because they're not. They would be very small games. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually a valid point
Hmm.
in my mind, anyway. Um, I think Nana's agreeing with you, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely come back to that at the very end. So, yeah, those are out now. They were actually
Mm-hmm.
said it in the direct itself out tomorrow, but obviously that was a few days ago, so they're now out. Okay, so I knew one of these was coming. I didn't realize both of them were coming.
That's what she said.
Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series.
Right.
Klonoa 1 and 2 remasters or remakes.
Right.
You mean Klonoa, the famous platformers from the PS1 era.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's right up
I
your
knew that
alley.
I knew they were doing a revival of Klonoa. I didn't realize they were remaking both games.
That sounds like
Oh
an
my god.
STI.
I I know it does.
But yes.
I've only just realised what you meant by that, Jesus. Oh my god.
Ah, like
Yeah.
it's late.
Mm, Look, I never played these back in the day. They're
Oh
like
right.
ludicrously expensive now as well.
Oh wow. So that'll be good.
Yeah, so I think I might pick these up for sure because I've heard nothing but great things about the Klonoa games.
Yes.
Don't do it. So this was announced as a 8th of July release date.
Ah, good.
So not too far away.
Nope.
So both games in the collection, excellent stuff.
Looks like Q2
Finger,
is gonna be good for Nintendo
fingers, yeah,
people.
fingers crossed. Klonoa free. Let's hope. I think that might be what they're gonna hope to do with this.
Yes.
So next up, now this one should be obvious, or should have been obvious, but it
Right.
wasn't, and it kind of came out of nowhere. But I'm glad about it.
Okay.
The Portal Companion Collection.
Right. Yes. Now that took me by surprise, genuinely.
Yeah, it did with me as well, and it looks like they've just straight got the first game
Mm-hmm.
as is, and the second game as is, including all the online multiplayer and everything. So
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah. Like you can't complain. I mean, you know, who?
You can. I'm sure you can complain about something to do with
Well,
this.
yeah. Someone
Well,
always finds something to complain about.
well, I can guarantee I can find one thing to complain about already now without it even being announced.
What is that?
The old Switch tax price.
Oh.
I reckon it will probably be a 50 quid game.
Oh, right. I saw someone complain about that the other day.
I really hope not, because I think these should be budget titles.
I'm going to agree with you, yes. Yes, I do think so. They're very old games at this point.
Yeah, but I played Portal 1. I never got around to playing 2, so...
Oh, I did. It's very different than Portal 1. I mean, obviously the gameplay mechanics are the same, but
yeah.
the story takes such a different turn.
Look, all I know about it is that Wheatley is awesome.
Well, it's Stephen Merchant. He is.
I know it is.
I
of
love
course
Stephen
I know
Merchant.
that.
I have commented on that before, but I absolutely adore Stephen Merchant.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. I like him more than Ricky Gervais.
You beat me. I was just about to say that.
Well, you know.
I was literally just about to say that.
I
Anyway.
actually think he's funnier, but his comedy is so different.
Yeah, that's
so
what I like
subtle.
about
It's
it, though.
just so subtle. Oh, I love him. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Thinking about him in
Anyway,
extras when
he's so funny in extras.
when
for
they
Christ's
walk
sake.
in on him and he's when he's in the room doing
Yeah.
his thing. Anyway.
I just like it towards the end of the series with the Christmas special where he's working in the phone shop with Barry.
So good. So good. Yes. Oh my gosh. Also, if you haven't seen them, and this is to our audience as well, go watch the extras. The gag reel. Oh my
Oh, they're
God.
so good.
Oh, he's just naturally funny, and Ricky Gervais just his real laughter, is that real high pitched,
Yeah. That one that you get on the Ricky Gervais show and like
Yeah.
An Idiot Abroad and stuff
It's
like
just
that.
yeah, exactly that, and just you can tell Steven just cracks him up. You can tell he really enjoys him.
So good.
Yeah,
so good.
Anyway, yes.
Yeah. To the so yeah, I said 2022 broad release window for that one. So Valve are clearly obviously doing some more work getting it onto the Switch.
Right. Knowing them, they will want their product. I mean, I don't think I'm talking out of turn here, but I think they would want their product ready and ready to go on release, because it's Steam, it's Valve, it's Steam, they have a reputation. Yeah.
Massive, and yeah, it's obviously Gabe who's Gabe Newell was
Yes.
overseeing the whole thing. He's
the overseer.
He's a stickler for quality.
He actually is, although some people would argue with that. I don't think so. I think he very much is. So one of the last consummate professionals.
Yes, of course.
As a publisher.
Anyway.
Yes.
Any keen observer in our Discord might understand why I put our message to when we went live the way I did. To the keen observer, this one I had no clue about. None. And I looked at it and I went, what in the holy heck is this? And then I saw the title of it and I went, oh my god, they've finally done it. After all these years, they finally let a Japanese-only RPG make its way to the
Mm-hmm.
West, and that is Live Alive.
Yep. Yep.
But not only are they releasing it out in the West, but it's a HD 2D remake of the game.
Right. I'm very shocked but very pleased as someone who, for a very long time, again, my tastes have changed in the last couple of years. I can't explain it. But for a very long time, I was one of those people going, come on, can we get some actual Japanese games over here?
Yeah.
You know, I want to play them. You know, they're interesting, they're fun, they're so different. And of course, the response is they won't sell well, you know,
Yeah, but
to a
then
Western
you look
audience.
at things. But you look at Famicom Detective Club like they did last year. Like they finally did that.
Yeah.
It might not have sold amazingly well, but there was a lot of interest in it.
Exactly. I mean, plus you got to build up interest. You got to build up a community, you know, of people that are into this.
Yeah.
So I'm actually very glad. I mean, again, I feel like I've outgrown all of these things that I used to want, but I'm still very happy to see it being done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that much about the game. I knew of its legacy, obviously, because it's
Right.
a game that everyone really wanted to come out of the West.
Yes. That is very
But
correct.
this is my first time actually seeing like anything to do with the game.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, it looks bafflingly weird, and I love it.
It is very weird, but that's the thing. There was a whole slew of games around that time that were Japanese, and they're
Yep.
so strange looking to a Western audience, but they're so good, so good.
Yeah, I'm so happy about this. Honestly, like I'm not the biggest RPG fan,
Right?
but six stories set over different time
Yeah,
periods that all
I love
together.
that.
Oh my god! Look, time travel stuff is always a bit hit and miss, but this looks utterly incredible.
Yeah,
Looks incredible. Oh, I'm in. I'm
yeah.
so in. I don't need to say anything more about the game. I think I'm just gonna get it and play it.
I
So
think it would be good to try, for sure.
yeah,
For you.
yeah. So 22nd of July, like I said, full HD 2D remake. Square Enix are going really hard on trying to get the HD 2D like stuff out there ever since Octopath, and it's clearly working because people want it.
Right.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Next up, this might take a little bit longer. This is gonna take a little bit of time.
That's what she. Oh gosh, that's what she said.
No, because this is the game that probably should have came out in 2017
Right.
when the Switch first launched.
Right.
They probably should have had it as a packing game.
Uh-huh.
Instead, they decided to do 1-2 Switch that wasn't a packing game and a full price game and a pile of absolute dog crap anyway.
Right.
But they revived an old series. But they've obviously changed the name slightly.
Okay.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
All right. Yes. I saw a
I'm in.
lot of people. Yes, I saw a lot of people talking about this. Some people even seen if they could pre-order it, which I thought was hilarious.
You can.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
It's also only £31, so it's not a full price game.
Right, which is very good, I think. Very good.
Okay, so let me go through this because this has got a lot going for it.
We also had a guest join us.
Ooh. That's a Twitch bannable offence, I think. I'm joking. Howdy, Deadbeat. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've just got onto Switch Sports. So, right, there's going to be six games available from this. So, 3 are returning from previous Wii Sports games, and 3 new ones.
Right.
There's also going to be a 4th returning, but not until April, or not April, sorry, autumn.
Right.
So,
okay.
Or fall for our US listeners.
Right.
So the 6 sports that are going to be available from the start, the 3 returning are bowling, tennis, and chimbara. The 3 new ones are volleyball, football, or soccer, whatever you want to call it, depending on your area of the world. If you don't call it football, you're a scum.
Soccer.
And badminton.
I love badminton in real life.
Yeah.
Alright.
They demonstrated the volleyball during it, and it looked kind of fun.
Absolutely. Chat's filling up now.
Yes, it is. So it's this one was I'll be honest, was a bit of a surprise. So they are going to be adding golf in the autumn of 2022 as a free update. They
Right.
are also incorporating the leg strap support for football.
What?
So this is the leg strap that you got with Ring Fit
You're
Adventure.
right. Yes.
But
Oh
also
my
there is going to be a
gosh.
physical version that also will include the leg strap. So very interesting, actually.
Oh
Very
my
interesting.
goodness.
But this comes out in 29th of April, so pretty soon, actually.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
But
That's why people wanted to
but
pre-order it, because it's like right around the corner.
but we also haven't got very long to wait until we actually play some of it either,
Oh, right.
because there's an online playtest happening between the 18th and the 20th of February
Oh,
with free
nice.
sports available, which
Nice.
are bowling, tennis, and chambara.
Right. Oh, everybody
So
needs to hop on that for sure.
there's a caveat with it though.
Of course.
I posted it up in the Discord earlier, so please go and check the public general area of the Rapid Reviews UK Discord.
Right.
But they are selective time periods over the course of the day, and the sessions are only
Oh,
45 minutes long.
right. Yeah, that's
And
definitely something to
Nintendo,
take
why
into
do you
account.
do that?
I really don't know why they do.
It's so annoying. But anyway,
um,
I literally sat here, mouth agape at this one. I went, Jesus, they've done it. I can't believe they've done it again.
can't believe they've done this. Also,
Yeah, I showed Rachel the trailer earlier, and she was
oh,
absolutely jazzed.
that's very, very good. I love that. Also, I want to say to our listeners and watchers that I have really sacrificed so much to be here tonight because Call Me Kevin just went live. So we're recording.
Look, we'll get this done so you can watch the rest of it, all right? But
Uh,
we'll still focus with the,
I was gonna
you know.
say I can watch the VOD later. It's fine.
Exactly. So, and Deadbeat put who?
Yes.
Exactly. So,
I love the
anyway,
drunk
yeah,
virtual bowling. I like that.
that was the last thing I was going to say as well.
Mm.
Online play for all sports this time.
Right.
Yes. The survival online bowling looks absolutely
Oh my
ridiculously fun.
gosh.
So, anyway,
Is that
we'll get
battle
more.
royale bowling?
Probably. Probably. Anyway, I'm going to move on because I've
Uh-huh.
talked too much about Nintendo Switch Sports. Bit
Yeah.
excited about that one, if I'm honest.
And we've already been at this for an hour.
Nearly an hour, actually.
That's what she said.
Anyway, so the next game that was shown off was, please excuse my pronunciation, I cannot ever pronounce this name correctly, is
Arceus.
Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm
Oh,
Festival,
yes.
which is
Yes.
also known in the West as Taiko Drum Master.
Yes. That's right.
So, Rhythm Festival, it's a new game in 2022, includes, the usual stuff with the Taiko series.
Uh-huh.
They did actually make it a big contentious point that Megalovania was in the game this time around, so that was
Right.
kind of cool.
Yeah, I saw that.
But there is an interesting part as well. So it
Uh-huh.
is due out for release this year,
Right.
but there's going to be 500 songs available at launch via a subscription service.
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
imagine that's probably songs from the previous games are coming back into this game via that.
That's what I assume, if I'm being honest. That is my
Yeah.
assumption as well.
Yeah, the Taiko Drum Master games, they are actually
Mm-hmm.
incredible fun. I've
Yes.
played it at the Heart of Gaming in my local area, and it
Yeah.
was amazingly fun. But um, to get the full experience out of it, you do need the drum controller.
Right. I have to agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty expensive on the Switch. The last one was pretty expensive.
Oh gosh.
So anyway, moving on. They showed off a bit more of Triangle Strategy. This
Yep.
is the upcoming HD 2D game from Square Enix, from the team that created Octopath Traveler.
Again.
No surprises here.
No, and also still winning the award for dumbest name of a video game
Yep. So
2022.
they did, and like I was gonna say, no surprises here. They've
No,
released
it's the same.
a demo that
Mhm.
it's up until chapter 3.
Right.
Save data will transfer from there into the full game when it releases.
See, that is good. I think it's going to be.
Perfect.
I think it's a great game, and I think it's going to do really well. I just hate
Yeah.
the title. Just hate
Mm. Anyone who wants to know about it, please just. I heard from a source, or not a source. I heard from a podcast I was listening to earlier that apparently Octopath Traveler physical version is rare as all heck now. So
it.
if you
Really?
want to play this game, I would highly recommend probably getting the physical version of it.
Wow! Like so many people I know got the physical version, but
Apparently, it's like
I don't
rare now.
care. Yeah, that's
Uh,
crazy to know. Yeah, they
yeah.
were all proud of it and like took pictures
Mm.
of it and stuff. I just
Yeah, I remember Jennifer like
Yeah,
was
that's
one of those,
right.
wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. That is right. She
Yeah,
wrote a lovely article about it as well.
she did. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was very very complimentary about the game. I think she
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
anyway, the next one was Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course.
Yes.
This is the final DLC pack that's coming to the game.
Mhm.
Big surprise! This is actually coming down date with the rest of the consoles.
Oh, now that's good. Because that
Hmm.
very rarely happens with the Switch. I was about to say with the
Yeah.
Wii, but with the Switch, yeah.
Well, I can understand why you thought that because Switch Sports, Wii Sports, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, but 30th of June for that one, and it looks rather cool.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah. Always
probably
love
brutal,
Cuphead.
like
Oh,
the rest of Cuphead.
it really is. I mean, I love Cuphead. I love the aesthetic. I just love the gameplay, but it's tough as balls. It's so tough.
I own it on PC. I played it for a little bit, realized that my frame rate was chugging so badly I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
play it.
no.
So when I
With
get a new PC, I'll be playing the heck out of it.
yeah, because that is definitely one of the game because you're being constantly shot at so
Mm,
much. You need
yeah.
that frame rate working.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
I managed to complete the first level somehow. I don't know
Whoa,
how.
yeah. Well, there
Yeah,
you
it took a lot
go.
of attempts, but hey.
High five on that
Speaking
one.
Okay, speaking of rock hard games, because that's a
Oh, yeah.
segue in its own right.
Yeah.
Metroid Tread
Oh, yes.
is getting 2 free updates. One is now out,
Yes.
but includes 2 difficulty options.
Right.
You got rookie mode.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean,
Just fine.
nice for those who obviously struggled through the game. So it's
Right.
nice to have. It's a good option.
Yep.
But the one for the real hardcore players, Dread mode.
Which I
That is
cannot imagine. That
one
must
hit
be.
kills.
Yeah.
One hit kills. Oh my god. Ugh.
Oh, I've never been good at hardcore modes on anything. Not
Yeah.
on Fallout, not on any of them. Halo,
Yes.
no. Oh, well, no, I take it back. Halo 3, I played so much I can play that on hardcore.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's out now. But there is a new update coming in April that's going to add a boss rush mode. Try
Ooh.
saying that a few times over and over again.
Boss Rush.
Yes. The next game was no real surprise the minute they said about Bound.
Oh, yes. Internet went crazy, but yes.
Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings have now been added to the Switch NES and Switch SNES online now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played Earthbound or Earthbound Beginnings, I'm not going to call it Earthbound Beginnings because it's an absolute tragedy that they named it Earthbound Beginnings because of Mother 1. They added Mother 1 to the game to it and Earthbound.
Yeah.
This does not mean that Mother 3 is coming. That game is never happening in the West, I'm afraid. Sorry.
I don't like I used to think that it was going to happen. But no. I don't know. I don't know. Nintendo surprises us with the craziness. Like even that was
Yeah, they do, but then it's like I'll be honest, like the subject material in that game alone is probably enough for Nintendo to sort of sweat.
Right.
Because I don't know if you've ever played the fan translation of Mother 3.
I haven't, but I have watched some online play. Look at Deadbeat.
Deadbeat, don't. In the immortal words of Hawkeye from Endgame,
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
don't give me hope.
Oh Oh, it's so sad.
No, honestly, there is not many games that have made me emotional.
Yeah.
My God, Mother 3,
Mhm.
I bawled like a little child.
Yeah. Absolutely. Uh,
Anyway,
yes.
so the next thing was we had like a load of games just thrown out there like
A
very, very
mother load,
quickly.
Pete. A mother load.
Ugh, thanks. First game on that was Zombie Army 4 Dead War, which is coming out April 26th.
Yeah.
Getsu Fumaden, Undying Moon, which is now out.
Mhm.
Um, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaibura,
Right.
Yaiba. Oh, the oh
Uh,
god, in Japanese names.
yeah.
Anyway, apparently this is a 3D fighting game, and I probably should have been more interested in it, but that's June 10th.
Right.
Next was Lego Brawls, which is coming June
Oh,
26th.
I am very kind
And
of
the last
excited
of
about
those
that.
little sizzle reel ones was Two Point Campus, which is coming
Yep.
17th of May.
Which
That looks
I'm,
incredible, by the way.
yeah, I'm very happy about that. But I've said that before.
Mm.
Um, I love
Yeah, I think it looks great.
I love those games. I love Theme Hospital. I love Two Point Hospital. I love building games. Right now I'm playing
Mm.
Prison Architect, and I'm absolutely obsessed.
Yeah. 2 Point Hospital was fantastic. I loved everything
Oh
about
yeah.
that game.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
if this is very much like 2 Point Hospital,
Which
just
it will
obviously
be.
with University,
Yeah.
I'm going to absolutely play the heck out of this like I did the
Yeah.
Hospital.
Absolutely.
Now we're on the last two, but these are gigantic.
That's what she said. But yes.
This one, this was honestly the Malphagate moment that I went, don't dare, don't you do it. No, I was
Okay,
completely stunned.
Kirby.
No, I was stunned. I was so stunned by this. I never thought that the Mad Lads would ever do it.
Oh goodness. And what was that, Pete?
The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pack.
Yep, another
For
one that Twitter went nuts over.
DLC for a 5-year-old game. Well,
Yep.
5 years on the Switch. It came out in 2014 on the Wii U.
Oh
This
my
game has got a
gosh.
life of its own, but
Oh
my
my
goodness.
gosh.
Does it surprise you when it is the highest selling Switch game of all time?
Exactly. And it's a game that I've actually played on the Switch.
Yes.
Oh,
Good.
surprise.
So let's go through this. So it is paid DLC
Mhm.
with remastered tracks from all the way across the series.
Right.
It's possible there might be. Who knows if there's going to be some new tracks added? They could well do, but they've been very vague about some of the courses they're obviously going to add.
Right.
They've announced a couple, and the two main ones, or the three main ones that they focused on in this one, was Coconut Mall from the Wii,
Right.
Choco Mountain from the N64 game,
Oh yeah.
and Tokyo Blitz from Mario Kart Tour.
Right.
Now, fine, okay, Mario Kart Tour is not everyone's favourite cup of tea, really, but nice to know that fans of Mario Kart Tour are going to get some tracks in the main game.
Yeah.
Fine, got no problem with that.
Pete, would you consider that kind of like game preservation in a way?
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
I do
mobile
like
game
that.
making its way over to, in
Uh-huh.
some respects, over to a console game is good in
Yeah.
that respect.
Well, I mean, you think about like Halo, the mobile game for Halo. It's you can find some places to play it, but it's basically gone. Poof,
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah, it's very hard to find. So
Yeah.
anyway, so
Anyway.
there's going to be 48 tracks in total, spanned
Right.
over over 6 waves of DLC.
Mhm.
The cost of it will be $22.49 for UK,
It's not
or
bad.
24.99 in terms of European, so euros.
Right.
They're due to start. This was the biggest one for me. 18th of March,
See,
and
that's
will
not
span
bad.
until 2023.
That's really cool.
So the way
That's
they're
very
doing it is,
cool.
yeah. So there's going to be 8 tracks per pack. So if we're looking at it, that's now 8 total DLC packs they've added to Mario Kart 8 since 2014.
Yeah.
Ridiculously priced as well.
Yes, as Dad
And that's
Pete says.
probably for the best as well.
The day after Patty's Day, yeah. When
Yes.
everyone's hungover, so they're gonna play Mario Kart.
Of course. So I did add something in for the UK-based people in the Rapid Reviews UK Discord in the buying and selling. That actually there's a bit of a deal going on Shop 2 for 16.85 for the DLC pack.
Well, that's
which I'm
cool.
all over.
Yeah.
But that's not all.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. If you happen to upgrade your membership to the expansion pass, this DLC will be included at no extra cost.
Very nice.
Much like they did with the Animal Crossing DLC.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So do I. I was having a bit of a dialogue with Brent in the Discord about possibly upgrading my membership to the expansion pass and trying to get people on the family pass to make it cheaper.
Oh, right.
Because of this reason.
Right.
I have no interest in the N64 games. I don't really have a lot of interest in the Mega Drive games because they're on a collection I already own.
Right.
I don't care about the Animal Crossing DLC because I don't own the game. This was the one that pushed me over the edge and possibly thinking about it. So I've got some decisions to make, let's say, whether or not I buy this outright or upgrade to the expansion pass.
Try to get people to go in with you.
Yeah, because I worked out right. So it's about it's $59.99 for the year on a family membership with the expansion pass.
Holy crap!
I know it's a lot of money, right?
That is.
But you can have up to 8 people on it,
which is good.
Well, you do the maths then. 8 people at 60 quid.
Yeah.
Basically works out as about £7 per person
per
year.
Yup.
Which is ridiculous. Yeah. And considering that the standard membership individual is £18 per year.
Right. Yeah.
Or 35 for the expansion pass individual.
Right.
So yeah, it's ludicrous saving.
Absolutely.
So I will have a look into that anyway. So blown away. Absolutely blown away. I will put this on record though. Nintendo, you cowards.
Oh.
Better add Delfino Square from the DS, otherwise I'm kicking off.
Oh goodness. A one-man
Delfino
army.
Square is honestly one of the greatest courses of all time in Mario Kart. If they don't add it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, final game that they revealed, no surprises. This actually was been rumored for a very, very long time. It was probably supposed to be revealed last year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, yes.
Now, I'm not a Xenoblade player. Never have been, never will be.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not your style.
No.
Yeah.
Looks incredible though. The art style of it looks absolutely ridiculous.
They're always beautiful games. They are
absolutely stunning, but also by the looks of it as well, from that final shot of the trailer where they had the Xenoblade come out and then the 3, it looks like they're tying together 1, X, and 2 all in to 1 to complete this as a proper like trilogy or quadrilogy. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think that's entirely what they're doing. Yeah.
I'm happy for the Xenoblade fans out there because I know there are a fair few of them.
Oh, there are. There really are.
Mm-hmm. They're rampant as well. They are lively when it comes to anything Xenoblade related.
Very vocal.
Yeah, that's sort of what I meant. But I'm really happy to see all the reaction from that, especially a fair few like people that I follow like elsewhere. Yeah. Just like going absolutely ape about this, and I'm really pleased for them in that respect. It's an excellent way to close the Direct out as well.
Yeah, I think they did really well with that. But Pete,
that's the end of the show.
I was gonna say that leads us before we hit chat, which is quite a bit to talk about. What were your thoughts and feels on this whole event?
Now, you know me. I go in with incredibly low expectations nowadays because of so many times I've been burned.
Yes.
And it was always going to be a tough sell with no Smash Brothers DLC to add or anything like that. So they couldn't exactly rest on their laurels at all.
Right. And they've been hit with some controversies that week.
and that too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, which people seem to have forgotten about almost
Well,
immediately.
there's a reason for that. But anyway,
I know
let's
I know
continue
there's a
on.
reason behind that as well. But I'll go on record here. Out with low expectations, not everything wanting that not suiting my taste.
Right.
I know that directs are meant to obviously cater for the larger audience
Yeah.
as many people as possible, and they're not always to everyone's taste.
Right.
This is without a doubt, for me,
Uh-huh.
Nintendo's strongest direct they have ever done.
Wow.
They smashed this.
That.
They have set the biggest statement for 2022 out there. I've said this to other people just away from this quickly, but not gone into proper details with it. By releasing Nintendo Switch Sports, they are going after that 150 million PS2 in a huge way the next couple of years.
Right.
They finally beat the Wii
Right.
in the
They
last
did.
few weeks.
That did
They
come
are
out.
going after top selling console of all time with this year. They are really giving it a good ass go. And this sets a huge statement. They've got so much this year already, and there's still a lot we don't even know about.
Do you think this will top the year Animal Crossing came out?
No.
You think
This
they
is
can ever catch
no
that?
no. Animal Crossing was like an anomaly. Let's just not
The
let's not
timing was
be,
right.
the timing was right. It was ridiculous like how well they managed to mirror that up with what was happening in the world.
Right.
No. That was probably one of their better years. Their best year on record is their first year,
Right. Really? I
which
didn't
is
realize that.
2017.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they had a top title every month.
Duh, that's right. Of
So
course.
yeah, they had Zelda, Mario Kart
Yeah, that's
8, lots
right.
of like they they had Hyrule Warriors, like
Yeah. I don't know why I
Arms
forgot.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Mario Odyssey in
It was
October and stuff like
hit
that.
after hit after hit. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
Pokken Tournament and Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, they completely knocked it out of
Oh
that
yeah.
park that year. Oh no, this tops it. This is like if sales are right, this is
Right.
going to absolutely top 2017. And like I said,
Wow.
I still think there are things on the horizon we don't know about. I don't
Horizon
think
Zero.
Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year, but I really do feel that a 3D Mario is going to come out this year.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's later in the year, which is why a lot of all of this is early.
I was gonna say we're definitely due for 3D Mario at this point, just based on their release schedule.
Yeah. I think this is going to absolutely top anything they've done with the Switch's life so far.
Wow.
This sets a statement. Like, how many years do you have Xenoblade, like a Xenoblade Chronicles game, DLC for Mario Kart, huge games from like third parties,
Right.
like Live Alive,
Yeah.
and and Mario Strikers. That's not even putting Switch Sports in there. Those are just massive.
It's true. I do like what Deadbeat has said because it's true.
Bear with me. Even with Kirby. I can't even see.
So even with Kirby being Odyssey 2.
Yeah, it basically, let's admit, it probably is. But I don't care about that. I'll play it.
Of course you will. We all
It looks
will.
amazing. So,
Pete,
all right, let's go to
I was
chat.
gonna say you want to
anyway.
go through chats quite a bit.
After that, anyway. Right, but I want to ask you because you're not
Right.
a Nintendo fan, obviously.
But I'm not
And
a non-fan either.
No, but you
Right.
own a Switch.
Yes.
My question is this sort of direct enough for you to look at that and go, maybe I should play my Switch?
No, the only thing that even raises an inkling, and that's not a joke. It's not a pun.
Yeah.
For Splatoon.
Yes.
It's Kirby.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and even then, I don't see myself paying 69 pounds for a game on the Switch. I just don't.
They don't tend to go for 70 quid on the Switch. It's usually probably about 40 to 50.
40 and under, I can see myself doing. Above 40, I'm so jaded with Game Pass,
Mm. I do
So,
get that.
yeah. So Kirby, maybe. Maybe.
It has,
Maybe.
in a lot of occasions, sort of held off on playing some games because I know eventually they might come to Game Pass. Like,
Yeah.
not with obviously Nintendo first party stuff, but the third party stuff for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and Nintendo is notorious for their games never go down in price.
No, they don't.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
go through Tread. You are
yes.
in charge of that.
Mm. Okay, so Nana started off strongly by saying this direct was very strong in my opinion. That was at the very start. So
Yeah. Couldn't
I we wanted, yeah,
comment on that. Yeah.
no, we wanted to go through it first and sort of put thoughts on there. So he said it feels like I'm surrounded by Muso games but never get to play them. Was too young for Hyrule Warriors and haven't been able
Really?
to buy any of them yet.
Oh,
He
Nana,
said
you
would
would
love to
love.
try one though.
Yeah, Nana, you would love Hyrule Warriors. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, once you get past the kind of janky frame rate with it.
Yes.
I
I'm
would
gonna agree
say
with
if
you
you
there.
want to play a Warriors game, and I know obviously the Zelda might be more your thing, but just play one of the Dynasty Warriors games on another console because
Oh,
they'll
yeah,
probably
yeah.
run a bit better if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because Dynasty Warriors is great,
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors is
except
great.
nine sucks. Um, he said I would love to try them. Yeah, you should. Said, I guess this was probably to do with Mario Strikers. This was really cool. Wish they would do something like Mario, like Sports Mix, but it's still pretty cool. I didn't like Sports Mix on the Wii. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Right?
I remember buying that for a friend's birthday, and he returned it 2 hours later.
Oh, very
Yeah,
nice.
well, we both played it, and we're like, ugh.
Oh my
Maybe we should
gosh.
have given it more time.
I'm so bad about not returning games.
Yeah.
I'm the people
He
they bank on that just buy stuff and don't return it ever, even if they don't like
yeah.
it. Yeah, that's
Yeah, he
me.
then said either that or Sluggers because I like baseball. Mario Sluggers was absolutely amazing, to be fair. So he said, I didn't know Gameloft made actual console games. Sometimes I do, sometimes they don't. Most of the time they're ports.
Right. That's what I thought they were
Um,
known for.
he said, this is funny, this is coming out after they said they were going to make the old Assassin's Creed again.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the Ezio collection, I guess.
Yeah. But also, they're turning it into a live service game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which would be, I personally think, I mean, we need to save this for the live service show, which we will eventually do. But
Yeah, we're getting to that.
I do think Assassin's Creed would make a good live service game.
Mm. So he then put, I haven't played Chrono Cross, so this could be fun.
It could,
Absolutely.
you would like it.
Nana, that is so your alley. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it's so anime probably.
I
Like
mean, yeah,
it's a
but
it's a
it's more
JRPG,
that.
very anime in storyline. You
Yeah,
know.
it's more than it's a JRPG. It's like classic JRPG. It's so good.
Yeah. He also
Yeah.
said, also remember Chrono Break. I didn't even know Chrono Break existed.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't think it was very well received, if I remember.
Yeah, I mostly remember Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I think he meant to say. I think he meant to say Chrono Trigger on this one. The rumor here is that Chrono Trigger is getting a remake. We discussed that very briefly.
Yeah.
That I'd heard on the Spawncast that one of the guys on there had said that apparently they tried to remake it twice before and have miserably failed with it.
I hope they do though.
Look, HD 2D remake of it absolutely would be the way to go.
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, those games have to, like, their whole charm. It's like Secret of Mana, all of that. That is of its time. And it's not like Final Fantasy VII Remake where it works as a 3D game. No, I mean, I guess it wasn't one anyway, but they're just so of its time. They need to stay kind of that 2D, HD 2D.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Okay, so he said time to get cursed. I can't remember what that was about.
Kirby.
Oh, okay, fair enough. He then put, Otani is a big superstar in Japan, but so that's pretty cool. It's pretty surprising that this isn't stopped since baseball is in a lockout right now.
Man, baseball's so big in Japan.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It's like kind of
Mm-hmm.
the national sport in some respects.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that the Astros got a Japanese player at one time, but every time they acquire a Japanese player, people go nuts because they're so good.
Did you
Yeah.
know Nintendo once owned a baseball team?
What?
Hmm.
That's
Can't
cray
remember
cray.
can't remember who it was, but I'm sure the chat will probably tell. But
Oh
it's
yes.
it's quite a famous story that they once owned
My
a baseball
goodness.
team.
That's cray cray, but it makes sense. It
Yeah,
does make sense.
yeah. Nana also continues. He was the only person in chat for a fair while. So these versions are bad. He's talking about Kingdom Hearts, I guess. Honestly,
Oh yes, that's right.
they might do a physical version of 1.5 and 2.5 after this backlash. I don't see why they will do that because it's money. It's the cost of the physical cartridge. And if Nintendo, like, if they can't fit both of the games on there, and Nintendo aren't going to subsidize the cost of the cartridge, they aren't going to do it.
It's such a big fandom. It's a massive fandom.
He then put not 2.5 and 3, though that would require black magic. Yeah, he said, yeah, these look great. I might get them because they are coming to everything else, and I need to play a 3D platformer because it's been a while. I imagine Klonoa.
Such a
Yeah, I was
funny
pretty shocked, but
word.
these seem cool. He then put Live Alive looks great, honestly. Good to see Square putting HD 2D to good use. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
We then had a bannable offense.
From one
I'm not
Mr. Deadbeat Punk
not repeating
shouting
it because I'll probably
graceless
get banned.
slurs.
I'll, I'll probably get banned for that.
I actually think I
So
had to allow that word at once. I did, yeah.
yeah.
That's so
So
funny.
we then had Brent coming in saying Bueno. Little bit
Yes.
of a oh my god.
What?
Dead Pete then tags Brent in there and just says you mad shagger. Brilliant. Um, yeah, hello everyone. Punk put drunk virtual bowling. It's been a while. It has for me too.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna. That was the thing, right? So it used to be of an age where many years ago there
Mm-hmm.
were some possible illicit substances taken,
Oh goodness.
and hanging out around a friend's house,
Oh
playing Wii
yeah.
Sports, and
Oh yes.
they had an ensuite bathroom.
Oh
But
goodness.
one of the things to do was to trick shot by walking in there, closing the door in the complete darkness, and actually bowling and trying to get a strike.
Oh my gosh.
It was awesome.
Yes, such adventurous
It was
lads.
the fact that no, it was the fact that the Wii remote actually still connected
Yeah.
through the door, and I was
I mean, that
surprised.
is pretty good, especially for
Yeah,
that time period.
but that's why we did it because it was actually a surprise that it still worked.
Absolute mad lads that you are.
No. He then put Switch Joy Cons bounce off TVs where Wiimotes destroyed them.
It's true.
I mean, that's very true.
That's true. Uh,
Nana put, yeah, it looks really fun to be honest.
yes.
He then put Mother 3 HD2D pre-order bonus for Mother 4.
Yep.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He then put Don't Go Marvel on my ass. But
Yep.
I have to because I have a Marvel podcast. So I have to include some reference
Oh
somehow.
dear.
Nana put, I've heard a lot of good things about the Demon Slayer game. I have too. It probably should be up my alley, but it probably isn't.
Yeah.
Um, oh my god, he then put Deadbeat put Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be DLC.
Oh
Oh,
goodness.
that'd be a bold prediction, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Uh, yeah, and he then put the day after Paddy's Day, I'll not be fit to drive. So will you be fit to Wii, or will you be? Oh god,
Oh gosh,
why is that
Pete, Pete, that's some info that we might not need.
No, I meant because obviously Wii Sports. I was meant
Yes.
to say is Switch Sports. Are you going to be in any fit state to be able to hold a Joy-Con?
Are you
I know
gonna
how
be
you
fit
Irish
to
are.
we? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love Patty's Day
Um,
over here. It's great.
Yeah, he said, Nana put, yeah, this looks insane. I can't wait to see it. So I can't remember what it was. Even with Kirby being Odyssey 2, kinda janky, Deadbeat Punk said. Go Dragon Quest
Oh
Heroes.
goodness.
Brent then put, got to go, Super Bowl
Oh.
party time. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I might even watch some myself
Oh
tonight.
my gosh, not me.
No, because I'm off work. That's the only
Oh,
reason.
right. Of
So,
course.
might do.
Yeah.
Nana put, he confirmed it for me, so thank you very much, Nana. He put, yep, the Seattle Mariners.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
Back when they also had good Japanese player Ishiro Suzuki.
Yes. Now I do remember him. Okay.
Deadbeat then follows it up, says, I'm always fit to wee anywhere.
You know, here's the thing.
Irish mentality. I will piss where I like.
Here's the thing. Somebody asked the other day on Twitter, if you woke up as the opposite gender, what's the first thing you would do? I kid you not, I would go pee off the porch. I have seen dudes do that all my life, and I am just like pure jelly.
First thing you do is just pee off your balcony. Yeah. Excellent work.
I want to have that power.
I'll be honest, it's not as interesting as it sounds. Anyway, whatever. Yes. I think that's the end of the comments anyway.
I think we'll wrap up the podcast portion. Just because, I mean, it is late and I have no more words. And I've got an eyelash stuck in my eye, so that's fun.
I could see that. So, do you want to let everyone know where they can follow you on the social medias for your incredible memeing ability?
Oh gosh, I can't promise any more Kirby Vor memes, but
no, honestly, please check it out. That was a classic.
So if you want to follow me in my misadventures, which kind of cracks me up because in Destiny, if you fall off anywhere, if you're not killed by, like a boss or another player, it says, my name, which is Kiley, died to misadventure, and I love that.
I've always liked that, to be fair, and that happens a lot because of your platforming skills.
Yes, are terrible. I have no depth perception. And I probably will die to misadventure. But anyway, if you want to follow...
Right on your tombstone.
Yes,
by misadventure.
Yes. I took an arrow to the knee. But if you want to follow me over on Twitterland, that's at Kiley to Great, KILEYTHGREET. And yes, the inevitable, there is a Futurama reboot. Yes, they are in talks. I know. Okay, I want to talk about it for 2 seconds. 2 seconds, I promise.
Can we talk about it after the show?
Okay, we'll talk about it after the show. Pete, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1, which is spelled BCKETT and the number 1. But you can also hear me on the other podcast, which is the Never Watchers Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, where we started Phase 4 this week.
Yes. Which will be new for you, so that's good.
Sorry, say that again?
It'll be new for you? It's all new and uncharted.
Movies, no. TV shows, yes.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you for joining us at this very odd time.
Yes.
And we'll be back to our regular shenanigans next week. Am I right, Pete?
Yeah.
Okay.
Normal time.
So, I guess that does everything. Wraps the... Yeah, that wraps it up for this week. So we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
And so ends the podcast portion of the stream.
Yeah, let's talk about this Futurama revival.
Right, here's my thing.
The third time.
Okay, I have 2 points to make. 2 point hospital. 2 points to make. 1, stop reviving Futurama. It's dead. He's already dead. It was dead the first time. We got a couple of good ones.
No. The first ending that we got was not nearly satisfying enough. Like the what is the name of the episode?
Yeah, it was the
Idle Hands of the Devil's Playthings.
Yeah, like Pete, I was like, this thing.
Yeah.
The holophoner.
Holophoner. I believe the episode was called Idle Hands of the Devil's Playthings.
Yeah.
And that was a very, very good episode.
It's a great
It's
episode.
not quite the ending I was expecting from it.
No, it was very bittersweet, I guess. But then we
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Bender's
Bender's Big
big
Score,
score,
Beast with a Billion
which was
Back,
terrible.
Bender's Game, and
Yeah, that
Into
was
the
good.
Wild Green Yonder.
And that was okay.
I
Um,
really liked Into the Wild Green Yonder, but I
it,
didn't like the ending for it again.
yeah, yeah, they kept screwing us on the endings. Uh, but
Like
that
it was
first reboot,
let's just say it was serviceable.
yeah, but that first reboot was terrible. It was awful. There was
I
for
disagree.
for me there was like 2 episodes that were cool, but I could the magic didn't feel like it was there.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question then
Mm-hmm.
on that
And I
one.
still have another point to make, but go ahead.
Okay, did you actually watch that series as they were originally intended,
Yeah.
or did you watch them split up?
Wait, the reboot? I watched all the movies before they split them up. Yeah, I
Yeah,
watched
that's what I
those.
meant. That's what I meant. You watched them as actual movies
Yeah, yeah,
rather
yeah.
than the terrible for syndication versions.
Oh yeah, no. I had all of those. Because
Good.
I was
Yeah.
hanging on to I love Futurama, obviously. Um, but I didn't care for the rebooted series. But here's the other point I want to make. Now this is very cynical and jaded, but I can't help it. So the current thing is that how John DiMaggio is not coming back as Bender, supposedly. I think.
Publicity stunt, I think.
Yep, 100% publicity stunt. Yeah, because if you watch his retweets and his replies, they're very coded
They are.
to protect talks, let's
Mm.
say. So this is all PR. Bender will be back because you literally cannot have Futurama without John DiMaggio. It would be like having it without what's his face?
Billy West.
Thank you. I've drank a lot of wine.
Or Katie Siegel.
Or yeah. But I am rambling now, and I think Futurama is probably pretty boring to our watchers.
No, I have thoughts about this as well. I don't necessarily agree with you about the revival series with Bender's Big Score and stuff like
No,
that.
those are fine.
Okay, fine.
I didn't like Beast
Like,
with a Billion Backs. That one I just
utterly terrible.
yeah.
Utterly terrible.
And I love David Cross, who is voicing the planet, but
Oh yeah, you mean Evo?
Evo, that's it. I just did not. I couldn't follow the story. It was not in character. It just I don't know. I didn't care for that.
No,
But I'm talking
I
about
think the only person that actually felt like they were properly in character was still Fry.
yeah, I would agree with that. But I'm talking about the other revival.
Yeah. When it came back to Comedy Central.
Yeah, that one. I tried to hang on. And I'm not saying that there weren't great moments. You know, I do think the ending of that was a decent end. We finally got a decent one. You know,
Yeah,
where they
thank God. Yeah, I was
like,
just gonna say
going
they
back.
actually finally got the ending right, and
Right.
that's why I think this whole revival is a waste of time because
Oh, I do too.
they revived it 2 times before because they weren't satisfied with the ending,
Yeah.
and yet they've now got a satisfying ending, and yet now they want to go back on it.
I mean, if they do it as like standalones, kind of like the movies were, I can get behind that.
No, but
that could be cool.
the problem with that is that the standalones, like whilst they were standalones, they still fit in with the theming of like the original 4 series.
Yeah, I do think so. Although you
Like,
can kind of see some kind of breaks, you know, from
yeah,
the original in that, but
you kind of can, yeah, and then
Yeah.
obviously like the revival series, like the actual series rather than the 4 movies,
mm.
like followed directly on from the end of Into the Wild Green Yonder.
Well, it's like I love the beginning of that revival series where they're like, "Box, we've been canceled by the Box Network," and
That was really funny, yeah.
It was, and then the whole like clone scene where their clones came back to life. That was cool, but
There
then
were some good moments in that actual series itself. That was probably
there's
the strongest of the
moments,
revival
yeah.
series.
But like when Leela and what's his face were Adam and Eve, I just
Yeah, I didn't not a fan.
no, I was like, I can't hang on to this. Plus, they
No.
made Fry even dumber than he normally was. We
Yeah,
are
that was
really
what-
boring our audience, by the way.
I know we are, but yeah, it's just no, it's something that we collectively we're both really
Oh, we're big
passionate
fans.
about.
Yeah, we're both very big fans of Futurama.
I mean, we've
Um,
made more than enough references on this bloody
oh
show.
yes,
So,
I love it. Somebody posted this morning. I saw it and I was like, oh, and they said something about how I'm going to be in like I'm gonna have a month of depression because I'm about to watch the dog episode of Futurama. And I was like, yeah, I've watched it once. Jurassic Park. I have watched it once. I have never watched it again. I can't. It's beautifully done. It's just too. Ugh.
the weird thing is though, is that's my comfort
Ow.
episode because I
Oh
love
my
it
gosh,
so
is it
much.
really?
It's so good.
Oh my gosh. My comfort episode would be the B one. I love that one.
I'm not a big fan of that episode in general though.
Yeah, it's very abstract.
Yeah,
Um,
I do like the abstract episodes, but
but
I
that's
just
where
didn't
they
particularly
really.
like it too much. Like it was just how it kept going back on itself, and
Mhm.
everything felt like a fever dream. And I can understand that was
Well,
the
it was a
point of the
fever dream.
episode,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
just I just didn't like the structure of it too much.
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the ending to that. And then I had the other one in my head, but it's gone now. But I can't watch Jurassic Park. It makes me so sad. I also like the Worms one, where he eats the
Oh,
gas station.
that's good.
Yeah, those are probably really one of my favorite. I do like. I'll tell you what I do like, which cracks me up. The one where he goes back and becomes his own grandpa. So...
Oh God, that's so bad. Like they make so many references to that as well.
Oh,
It's really
so
funny how every
it
time
makes
they do it.
sense, though. It makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
it really does.
And then,
That would explain how much of an idiot he is.
of course, the great Philip J. Fry or whichever
The
episode.
late, great, the
That's
late.
it.
That was the one I
That's
was going to
so
mention.
good.
Is
Yeah.
one of like whilst it being from the revival series,
Mm-hmm.
is probably the greatest
Oh, it's
Futurama episode
so
ever.
good. It is.
Like
is so
it's better
good.
than Jurassic Park, I think.
Well, I think so because I can actually watch it. I literally can't watch Jurassic Park, and I hate that they. I didn't watch it, but in the later revival one, they brought Seymour back or something like that.
They did, yeah.
I was just like, why? Don't touch that.
I did like the fact that they actually did something in Bender's Big Score with Seymour when he does go back to the past, like,
Oh yeah.
and then he discovers obviously he's Lars, and I really liked
that was
fact that
very cool.
Bender was the one who killed him.
Yes. That is such a cool movie. I'm sorry, but it is. We are so boring.
I know. Who controls the spleen? Who's asking?
Yeah. So good, and the king worm looks so scraggy. It's hilarious.
I was born here. I had a cloud of spores here.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, let's
very,
stop.
Very sorry to like all our viewers left. By the way, I've got the numbers. They all left.
Yeah, clearly Futurama is not something that our audience really is passionate about like we are.
I know, exactly. But I think we are going to wrap it up because it is very late.
Yeah, and I've still got to edit.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you do, because you have to get this out before...
Easy job.
Well, I was going to say, and you have to get it out before Deadbeat's new episode.
Yes, I do.
The new episode...
Did you not notice, right?
What?
I've been scheduling the episodes to come out just before his.
Of course. There you go, Deadbeat.
Well, if he's still here, of course.
Still there. If he's at the 6 people that left.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Oh yes. Be sure and catch Deadbeat's best episode yet, which was last week's episode.
Absolutely no, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed listening to that. It was just that, like I said to you before, because you were worried about it. Like, I saw a lot of the Discord areas I'm in, all talking about how funny the episode was.
The feedback has been really good. Yeah, the feedback's been great. It was a great experience. Go download it, but also a new episode of
it's out Monday.
What the Frick Do You Want? Comes out tomorrow, but download ours first.
Oh, I know, but the funny thing is, right, and I just want to mention this to you, that last week you were on, and now this one on Monday, Kurt's on.
I know, I did think that was funny. It's like,
So my two co-hosts from other shows are both one by one.
Pete's pawning off his co-host on a deadbeat. Anyway.
I think he's nicking them more like. Can you stop stealing my co-host?
I'll have to come up with boobs.
You scoundrel.
Too. But anyway,
what boobs too? The racketing.
Boobs too. Oh my gosh. Wait till you get a load of this. But I think that's gonna do it for us. I'm actually getting tired.
I know you
are. But we collectively wish our co-host Pete a happy birthday. Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. You'll be a lovely 19 years young.
Yeah, I stopped counting after 19.
Yeah. I stopped counting at 21.
It's all downhill after that anyway.
Oh gosh, no. But anyway, so that's gonna do it for us. Please join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And we will talk to you then next week. Alright. I got bad at closing. It's a video. I'm so tired. Anyway, we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.